Hey guys, how are you doing? Hope you are doing well. Welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I'm going to give you a step-by-step on how you can start your freelancing journey in 2025. Now, some of you might be thinking that it's too late to start a freelancing journey. I've got my list down here. Here are some of the steps that I've quickly written down, and I've thought of this really because I tried to sit down and think about if I want to start a freelancing journey right now, what steps should I take to ensure my success and so that I get straight to the point? I start getting the clients that I want to work with straight away, essentially. First things first, if you want to start a freelancing business in 2025, you really have to think, is this something that you want to do? Reason why I say this is because freelancing sounds good because you get to manage your own time. Basically, you're your own boss, and everybody wants to be their own boss. Everybody wants to be in charge of their daily life and what they're doing and the money that they're making. But let me tell you, this is a really big responsibility. If you're working a 9 to 5, you have income coming in every single month is mainly consistent, whereas freelancing income may not be consistent, and you're not even going to get the same, you might not get the same amount every single month depending on if you have retainers. There's so much more to it. But what I'm trying to say is that if you want to start a freelancing business, you really have to think whether this is something that you want to do and whether you can handle it. You need to be able to manage your own time. You need to be able to be in charge, be disciplined about everything that you're doing. What you have to remember, as a freelancer, you're not just a freelancer, you are everything and in between. You are essentially the marketer, you are the salesperson, you are the person who delivers the service as well. You're the person that does the admin stuff. You're the finance person. You literally wear all the hats, especially when you are starting out. And it is a lot of work until you start to get the systems in place and until you start to get the experience. That's when you can ease off a little bit and you start hiring people to work with you. You have to really think about, is freelancing something that you want to do? It's also great to have an extra income. You definitely need to figure out if you are someone who really wants to put in the work, especially when you're first starting out, to become a freelancer or even to use it as an additional source of income because you still had to do a little bit of work for the most part. So the second thing that you want to do is think of your skills. Now, I'm coming from healthcare, then I went into project management. So I've already built up a lot of skills that are useful for businesses to be able to run efficiently and things like that. So that's how I started in terms of becoming a system specialist. Now, what system specialist does is someone who implements systems into businesses so that they can operate efficiently and scale their businesses. So that's what I do. And I mainly work with coaches and consultants. However, the reason why I did that is because I built an interest in systems. So when I used to work in, I'd say corporate, I used to implement systems. One of the things that I noticed when I was in healthcare was that we had a lot of high turnover at a particular point in time, and handing over cases was a bit difficult. Things were getting missed. So I created like this tool online and implemented that process into the way we work so that we ensured that everybody was getting the correct information, was able to hand over the cases efficiently, making sure that nothing else was missed. So that's where it all stemmed from. That's where my interest for systems and using tools to help improve businesses or services came from. So I already had that interest. As I was doing all this work, I was then building my skills. I was implementing things. I was understanding how people work. I was always thinking of, how can I make this thing easier? How can I make this process easier? I used the skills that I had or I had developed in order to start my freelancing journey. So what I'm trying to say is use your skills that you currently have to start your freelancing journey. Want to think about, what problem is it that you are solving? What are you actually helping people with? Now, the one thing for me is that I was helping people implement systems into their business, people that were doing things very manually in their business. So maybe they were sending out contracts, maybe they were, sending out reminder emails or manually. So they were actually doing all this. And this was taking a lot of time away from them in their business. Instead of actually doing stuff that they enjoy doing, they were behind the scenes doing the back end, sending out the reminders, sending out their invoices, chasing payments, and all sorts. And that's where I came in. I helped them implement systems that will help to automate that process. So this then helps them to save time in their business and allow them to take on more clients and grow their business essentially. So that's the problem that I solved as a systems specialist. So you have to think about what is the problem that you help your clients? What problem are you actually solving for the people you are helping as a freelancer? And it's got to be tangible, it's got to be profitable, because when I mean profitable, it's got to be something that people actually want. A lot of times people think, oh, I'll just do this because this is what I enjoy doing. Yes, you want to do what you enjoy doing, but is it profitable? You have to think about that. Understanding the problem that you're actually dealing with will definitely help you when it comes to getting clients and even marketing your business. The next thing you want to think about is who is it that you are actually serving? Who are you actually helping? You want to also think about the kinds of people you are serving, because this way it will definitely help you to market your business. If you know who you're talking to, you know how to speak to them, you know how to speak to their problems essentially. So by doing that, you need to understand who is it that you're actually serving? Who is it that you are actually helping? Now, this can be a group of people. Now, I specifically work with coaches, I work with consultants, service professionals as well. And the reason being is because, again, I'm from a professional background, so I can relate to these people more. And there's so much that goes into who it is you're helping, but you definitely want to think about who is it you are helping. The next thing you want to think about is your pricing. So, how much are you going to charge for this service? I would generally say have a look on the market, see what other people are pricing, but I'm not telling you to base your prices on what they're pricing. Price on based on your experiences and your expertise as well. Even if you are a beginner, it doesn't mean you need to charge extremely low prices. What I want you to do is look around on the market and see what people are actually paying, what people are actually going for. And when you start your own business as a freelancer, you are now putting yourself out there. People are able to connect with you. You're more likely to be able to charge higher prices for your services. And the next thing that you want to do is create a landing page or a mini website. Now, I say a mini website because I don't want you to go online and create this whole fancy website because you're just doing too much and then you are wasting so much time trying to create this nice, beautiful website when you don't even have any clients yet. What I want you to think about is when you're creating a landing page is like a simple one pager that tells the audience information about what it is you do or whatever it is you are trying to promote. Now, what I want you to do is literally just go on there, tell them who you are, what it is you do, how you help them, what results you can get them, and also have your portfolio on there. You're going to have all these things, your services, and you can have your prices on there. I prefer to have prices on there only because you want them to come on a call or you want to have conversations with them already knowing exactly how much your prices are. If you don't have your prices on your website, people are going to be like, oh, how much is it? Is it too expensive? I'm not going to bother because I'm not sure. But when you have your prices on your website, people are already going to come to you with the expectations. They know how much you already charge. So they know what to expect already. So they're already qualifying themselves to whether they can work from you. So I definitely prefer to have prices on the website. Some people don't, but again, that depends on your business structure and what business it is you are providing. So for instance, because I provide done for you services as a freelancer, then it's better to have prices on there. However, if you are actually a coach, then the value of what you're coaching is more important than the actual price, if you get what I mean. So it definitely depends on your offer, what it is you're doing, and your services and things like that. So definitely have your landing page and your website on there. I think it makes you look so much more professional. And the other things that you want to have are things like, a professional email address. So you definitely want to have that just to make you look professional, right? So you want to have your social media platforms. I'm currently on Instagram, LinkedIn, and obviously now YouTube. However, when you're starting out, I'll definitely recommend one platform. I have always been on Instagram. So when I started out on Instagram, and that's where my first ever client came from, was from Instagram. And I had created everything. I had my landing page and everything. I had my whole funnel. And what happened was I was actually sitting at home and someone actually paid for the service before I even spoke to them because of my presence online, because of the content that I was providing. I was essentially, when you understand the problem, you know what content to put out there. So my first client came from Instagram and I was super excited. I remember jumping up and down and was like, wow, I'm actually sitting down here and the content that I've already created has actually worked for me and, helped me to get my first client. However, I have also got clients from LinkedIn as well. So you have to think about, where are your ideal clients? Where are they hanging around? That's where you want to go. So you definitely want to make sure that you are creating content and the content is aligned and speaking to your ideal client. The next thing that you want to do is make sure that you are practicing your skills. When I first started out, I was practicing my skills even before I got a client, even before my first client paid me. I was practicing, making sure that if there was any roadblocks, that I was able to troubleshoot and find out how to resolve the problem. As a system specialist, I needed to be able to make sure that I knew what I was doing and things were working properly as they should. So that was very important for me. If you are a graphic designer, you want to make sure that you know your colors, I guess, in terms of what colors go with what, and your fonts, and, just the whole designs of it, and how to really understand clients as well. That's something that you also want to do. So, and also what tools you can be using, what tools can definitely enhance your services or your work. How to get your first client. Now, for me, the most important thing in terms of getting your first client is making sure that you're networking, and I mean online and offline. You want to make sure that everyone knows what you're doing as a freelancer. The only way you're going to get clients is if people know what you do. This means you have to communicate your services and make sure you're communicating it well. One of the things that experts tend to do is use language that is, I guess, within their industry. And what that does, it can put a barrier between your client, your ideal client, and yourself, because they might not know what you're talking about if you're using all these fancy words. So you want to make sure that the language you're using is very simple and as easy as possible for anyone to understand. And I've had to refine this so many times over the years because, like I said, it's easy to get wrapped up in your industry language. You definitely want to make sure that you're using the most simple language. When you're networking online, make sure you are engaging with other people's content, especially on social media. Social media makes it so easy for you to connect with your ideal clients. So you definitely want to make sure that you are engaging with them. You know how to find them. You know how to recognize who is your ideal client. People who are engaging with you as well, with your content, make sure you're speaking back to them. If you are networking offline, building relationships offline, you're going to events, you are speaking to people, you're telling them what you do, you're swapping contact information, and then you want to make sure that you are maintaining that relationship afterwards. What I tend to do is I tend to, have coffee chats afterwards or anything like that, or I'll email, text, WhatsApp, whatever the case may be, however you took each other's contact details. You want to make sure that you're keeping up with them so that it's not just a one-time thing and they forget you in, it's 3 months down the line or something like that. The thing is that you never know where your clients are coming from, and sometimes it might take a month or 2 weeks, 1 week, or even 6 months. However, it doesn't matter. You want to make sure that you're consistently building relationships and making sure that you're maintaining those relationships as well. So if I was to start my business again, this is exactly what I would do and what I would focus on. In my next video, I'll be talking about the tools that you need to ensure you are set up properly as a freelancer. If you liked this video, make sure you like and subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified anytime I upload a video, and also comment below your questions. If you have any questions around freelancing, I'll be glad to answer them in the comments or make a video on them soon. But that's it from me today. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you later. Bye.